This month of May devotees is a very important month in the East Indian calendar. Why? It's called Indian Heritage Month. As on Tuesday coming, we are going to celebrate 178 years since our forefathers left Bharat Desh and came to this land, the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Let us remember the British were ruling India already. Indians who already planted sugarcane in India. That was nothing strange to them. Slavery was abolished in 1834. There was the demand, a high demand for sugar in Europe, cane sugar. And they wanted devotees. Most of the Negro slaves abandoned the estates and gravitated to the urban areas. That's how they settled all over Laventil, Port of Spain, all these areas and so on. They still wanted people to work the estates and operate the mills and so on. And that contract was made since the British knew what was going on. They opted devotees to bring the Indians from India. Now remember, Indians they know English. We carry all with Trinidad, eh? They didn't tell them Trinidad, you know. Trinidad, you know what Chini? Chini is sugar, the land of sugar where life's so sweet down here. Right? You come in for 5 years. After you finish, you could go back to India. You want to stay with your piece of land. And 100 and something days that windjammer took to leave to the port of India in Calcutta, the Nelson Island. That water was called the Kala Pani. Kala means black, Pani is water. Many died on that journey. And I told you, I had no cemetery on the boat. No cremation site is overboard. You understand? They left their homes because you always look at bettering yourself. My father used to say, your children should go at least a step further than you. Not backward, further. Always keep moving further on in life. And they were looking for devotees to uplift themselves, to better themselves. Okay? And having come here, having placed, they occupy the same barracks that the slaves were in, you know. The same barracks. A barrack is a long building with division of rooms, not small rooms. And these were barred with board, and between the board had space. So you could have seen through it in the next person's quarters. No privacy for females and all them things and so on. Early in the morning to 3 o'clock, overseer coming to wake you up. You had to go and cut cane. You had to cook, cut cane, this, that, all these things and so on. Still come back. Women too had it very, very tough. But the sacrifice they endured, the fortitude with them devotees, you don't give up. Anytime you give up, you lose the battle. And they struggled and struggled. Some went back, those who stayed. The British government gave them land that was unworkable at all the swampland. They took the same swampland. In the wet season, they plant rice, they produce rice. And in the dry season, short crops. And they start to elevate. When cocoa became devotees of high demand in Europe, and Trinidad produced the best cocoa in the whole world at that time, many gravitated towards sugar estates and so on. They had barracks too. Non-parallel in Sant Nagar, in coal mine had for stamina. Many other places had barracks and so on. And their devotees, let me tell you, my father worked on an estate, and he said, when you go to work on a morning, if you cut a cocoa cheaper and the cheaper only peel, they send you back home, you know. Your cocoa knife or your cutlass has to be so sharp when you cut it, cut clean. If not, go back home. They take an next person in your place. They work, they toil, they save. Right? My son, my daughter will have a better life than me. This is what they looked at. Devotees, what we are enjoying is the sweat and the toil of our forefathers when they came here. We have to be thankful for them all the time. And anytime you're not thankful, they have a word to describe that. How do you call it, Ram? Nimakaram. You see it? You're ungrateful. And this is where again, you see the period of Pitra Paksh, every Hindu should get serious with that period to remember the ancestors. Now in order to live here, you need the things that you're accustomed with. I've told you, anytime you want to kill a people, kill their tradition. That people will be dead. Right? So in order for their life to go on, they brought their clothes, they brought their music, they brought their way of worship. Trinidad didn't have bison, they brought bison from India. Right? So many countries, I mentioned to you again, all the plants and all these things and so on. You have to make sada roti on Bilna, Chowki, Fireside, Chulha, Pukni, Simta. We want to thank the youth group again for the beautiful display of artifacts and so on downstairs there. It's supposed to come in the Guardian, I think, I don't know if tomorrow when, I'm not sure. Okay? So all the things that we need to live, to survive, to maintain our tradition, devotees, we have it. Do you know now, our same descendants and them who are migrated from the West Indies to go to further countries, how you going to survive over there? How you going to make roti and you want to be on a choki? They carry too. You carry a, well, so they have stove, so they have to stick in chulha and thing. But who tell you people over there have chulha? In New York and other places. In Texas, I know people with chulha. Right? So you want to carry on, and it's important, pass on this information to your children. Let them know their roots, where they come from. All right? You follow a pathway of life that is second to none in the universe. And don't take my word, go and do research. There is no scripture older than the four Vedas. There is no language that is older than Sanskrit. Okay? I mentioned to you how old all our tradition, our culture. Our forefathers came mainly from UP, Bihar State and so on. Karhi came from there, Dalpuri came from there. Right? Lord Krishna, 5,000 years ago when he went to the Govardhan Puja, they carried jalebi, they carried laddu, kurma, pera, all these things and so on to offer. Look how old your tradition is. And this is what our forefathers have handed down to us. So praise be to this noble way of life, devotees. But remember, we as Hindus, right, we follow this pathway of Sanatan Dharam. And a Sanatanist Hindu, you have to respect mother cow, adore mother cow, and you cannot eat the meat of the cow and say that you are Hindu. You cannot do that. Simply put it, you're dancing top and body, wasting good time. The cow is revered. In every part of that cow, a divinity resides. That's why Bhagavan Krishna himself came, devotees, to protect Gau Mata. So let your children know all these things. Let them know the traditions of the forefathers. They brought with us certain things to allow your progression in life. Satnarayan Katha tells you, if you perform Satnarayan Katha, you'll never be poor. You must be blessed with wealth. Lakshmi Mata does bless you. The Hindu home has something called barakat. And what is barakat? Yield in your home, it will never done. But you have to live the life. Follow what the forefathers tell you. Don't get up after sunrise. When you get up after sunrise, you'll get korhi. You know it's korhi? Eh? Korhi is the height of laziness and sickness, you'll get it. Watch how you're sleeping. You don't sleep north-south or your foot to the east. You get cursed. All right? You don't trim your hair on certain days. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. You don't cut your hair. Worst is a Saturday. Anytime you're cutting your hair on a Saturday, you shorten your life and you start to look old real fast. You could use however cosmetics you want. Nails, you don't cut your nails. They showed us these things. They couldn't have a valid reason, but there was a reason for it. Right? Elevating us, devotees. And look where we are today. Look at where we are. Top of the world. Right? Thanks to them. You know, you hear some young people telling you, why life hard, you know. Life is a bed of roses right now. Everybody today in this hot weather, they're in a cooler condition room. Think about it. They didn't have that AC long time. Think about it. You want water, you go in quarter mile in the forest for water. You have to start to prepare flambeau when the evening come. Right? But they carried on their tradition, and through the traditions, the same temple was a kutia. Right? And the first Hindu school, one of the 6 Hindu schools they got in 1952 was the Sant Gandhi Hindu school. It started right here. And education started with our Hindu boys and girls. Making today such qualified personalities, devotees. that are difficult to compete with. Now remember, the blood in us flows from the great rishis and the munis of the ancient. Perform the karmas that will protect your dharma. For he who lives for the sake of his dharma will protect him. Praise to Sanatan Dharam.